Hi, I am Dante-hollywood. This is my project. I am here at the Vedanta temple and I will be interviewing a Vedanta monk here. What is your name?
My name is Swami Atma Vidyananda.
And what does that mean?
Atma means the self, Vidya means knowledge, and Ananda means bliss. So it's he who gets bliss from the knowledge of the self.
Okay, so we're going to be asking 6 questions. And my first one is, how long have you been a Swami and were you raised Hindu?
I've been a Swami since 1990 and a monk since 1978. So I joined the order in 78 and then went to India to take final vows to become a Swami in 1990. And my parents got interested in Vedanta when I was about the time I was born, actually, mostly my mother. And so, yes, I pretty much came here as a child and was raised in this tradition.
All right. My second question is, what makes Brahman different from Allah, God, and Yahweh?
The name, at least from our perspective. And from our perspective, these are all just different terms for the same thing that's really undescribable. And so each tradition has its own way of trying to describe it. I mean, we have to try to talk about it some way. And so the different traditions have various ways of trying to give us a handle on this concept that's really beyond words. So Brahman is the infinite, undivided, unchanging reality that's behind this universe. But Brahman is usually thought of as impersonal, as a transcendent, manifests in various forms. And so Brahman will manifest in forms that have more human qualities so that we can relate to them.
And question number 4, do Hindus believe in one creation? If so, how long did it take?
Well, that's a very deep question, because we think of Brahman as beyond space, time, and causation. So there isn't any time, and there isn't any space, and there isn't any causation in Brahman's essence. But Brahman has the ability to manifest a universe in space, time, and causation.
What are your opinions on the caste system?
The caste system was originally designed actually to do just the opposite of what it ended up doing, and that's giving an honorable place to everybody in a society. Each particular caste was thought of as a part of Brahman. So just as we have a head and we have arms and we have a body and we have legs and feet, and each of those is essential to us. If we didn't have our legs, we couldn't move around, and if we didn't have our hands, we couldn't do things, and if we didn't have our head, we couldn't think to do any of them. So each of these various parts was then likened to one of the castes of the society, and society then ran efficiently because you had a whole body.
Do you consider Hinduism polytheistic or monotheistic?
Well, what I tell people is that if somebody gives you a multiple choice test and they say Hinduism is, and then they give you these choices, polytheistic, pantheistic, panentheistic, monotheistic, and atheistic, you have to say all of the above. It's that confusing. It just depends on how you want to look at it. Do you remember Alice in Wonderland?
Yeah.
Okay. She was in big trouble, wasn't she? The queen was going to chop off her head. And what did she have to do to get out of it?
Wake up.
Wake up. So that's kind of the Hindu idea, is that we're in this dream world and we see things that are good and we think things that are bad and we think things that really don't make sense, but we'd like to make sense out of them. And we keep trying to fix everything. But what Hinduism says, what you really need to do is to wake up, that this is just the movie show. This is just the dream show. And you are just experiencing a dream. And your real nature is already one with Brahman. And that's all you have to do is wake up to that notion. And that's very Buddhistic too. And then there's the caterpillar. You remember the caterpillar?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, what did the caterpillar ask Alice?
Who are you?
Yes, right.
With the
And you see, what was Alice's problem? Well, she kept changing size, right? First she was being tall, and then she was tiny, and she kept changing size. And she was thinking of herself as this body. And since her body kept changing, she was getting very confused as to who she was. And the caterpillar kept trying to get to the truth of it. Who are you? You're not this body. You're really the spirit that's inhabiting the body. And it doesn't matter that your body goes through all these changes. That's not the point. So there's a lot of Vedantic ideas hidden in that book, whether he intended it or not. There, and it's kind of fun to see them.
And my sixth question is regarding reincarnation. Are there a set number of human souls, or are new ones created, and what controls the system?
Well, here I have to go back to the dream analogy. When you dream at night, is there a set number of people that you dream about night after night?
No.
You know, there might be one tonight, there might be 10 tomorrow night, there might be hundreds the next night. And it's sort of like that. This is a dream-like reality, and so you can't really pin things down like that. So now for us to try to understand what's happening, we sometimes talk in language that sounds like there's a fixed number of souls, but in reality you can't really pin it down because it's more like a dream world. And so if you really try to get down into the nitty-gritty, you can't really pin it down and give a number to it, or talk about how new souls are created. The general idea is that the human soul is really one with the eternal reality, and so it had to always exist and has to always exist, and so you can't really talk about it being created. The only thing that's really created is the illusion of a multiplicity of souls. It looks like there's a multiplicity of beings being created, but in reality they're all one anyway. So the number of human souls is one, really. But of course we don't usually think of it that way.
Alright, well, thank you for this interview.
Oh, you're welcome.